Guys, the countdown has been taken care of. Hello and welcome to Vaidya's Chess Hub. And yes, first of all, a happy International Chess Day to all. Sagar is here. Sagar asked this question, sir, is it today the International Chess Day? Well, yes, it is. And you're right about it. By the way, now the work for you guys is you have to tell me when did it start. Abir is here. Hi, Abir. Yes, yes. No, no, I have already said that. You don't have to be confused. It is the International Chess Day. There's no doubt about that. And by the way, since which year do we celebrate that? Okay. How can we share screen on channel? Why do you want to share screen on the channel? I don't understand what you're asking me, Kavish. I don't know what you're, yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what you're asking me here. How can we share screen on the channel? Did not understand what you're saying. Anyway, guys, what we are going to do today is, by the way, Namish had messaged me that he's playing a tournament. He will probably be with us from 6:30 or so. Grant is here. Kavish is saying on my channel. Kavish, you can leave a link to our channel on your channel. You can do that. Copy the link to a video or something and then put it on your channel. All right. Make sure that Kavish, everything is in good taste. Yes, let's continue with our work today. We are going to deal with the exposed king tactic, and I sincerely believe that our target should be 30 out of 30 today. So Jay, acknowledge that. So target is 30 out of 30. If Jay is with us, please acknowledge that. 1966 seems to be the wrong answer, right? I don't think 1966 Hitesh is the right answer. Isn't that the year since, when FIDE was formed? Jay says, okay, sir, 30 out of 30 is noted. First position is white to play. By the way, let me draw arrows. It's always useful when I draw arrows because that gives you the options, especially the beginners. The options is always good. So, like, they have something to think about. So, do you think that you're going to start with the sacrifice, or do you think that we should start with the queen check? Or do you think that this queen check is a little better than some of the other checks? It's queen h4. And Jay, I think you have the right answer. 1924. I think Jay is right. Jay, I think you are right. 1924. Guys, on the screen you have chat by Jay. 1924. Yes, that's when the first. That's when FIDE was formed and first International Chess Day was celebrated. No doubt about it. 1924 it is. Abir says queen h4 is probably the red arrow is the right way to go. Sagar, do you agree with that? Kavish, do you agree with that? Kavish also seems to agree with that. But if you agree with that, well, guys, if you agree with the red arrow, then make sure that you do the continuation. So let's see if you do agree with the red arrow, as people are saying. So we give this check, and then the first move is here, king g6. Isn't that the first move? Then how do you continue? That's the main thing there. How do you continue from there? Very important. Saurish, yes, I agree. Queen h4 check, but how do you continue? Saurish says queen h4 check. However, Hitesh has added that if the queen blocks, then rook h7 check and king takes and queen will be absolutely free. Yes. This deflection idea, destroying the defender idea there. But what if king to g6? Let me tell everybody what Hitesh is saying. For the check, if the queen blocks it, then the next move will be the rook check. And after king takes the rook, then we will be able to grab the queen on h5. So that's perfect, okay? Queen h6 check. Queen h6? Wouldn't queen be free, Abir? Grunt says queen h7 check. But then the king is going to come forward. Then what do? So let's continue, guys. The queen check and then the king g6. You say queen h7 check. Then the king is going to come forward. And what do? Yes, you have to, come on. Talk about what happens later. Grant, you're a senior student. Queen h4 check, king g6, queen h7 check. Sagar has some line. This is queen h4 check, king g6, queen h7 check, king g5. Like I've shown with the arrow. Then rook g7 check. And queen g6. Why will he block with the queen? Sagar, he can block it with the rook, right? He can block it with the rook. Is that not possible? I think that is possible. So Jay, our target is 30 out of 30, but okay, I'm not going to rush into positions just because our target is 30. Let's not do that. Rook F7 check. Rook takes. Granth, it's high time you get the typing done correctly. Check the coordinates. What do you mean by rook takes F7? Hitesh, you're right about that rook G7 check part, but then rook G6 will block the check. Then what do you do? Main question, what do you do then? Queen H4 checkmate. Oh, now that's more like it, is it not? That is more like it. That is more like it. Guys, watch this answer here. Queen H4 check, King G6, Queen H7 check, King G5, Rook G7 check, and Queen H4 checkmate. The first move will also then again be the last move. Okay, brilliant indeed. I'm going to go with that. So it's a check. Oh, the computer has made things very simple for us. So now I think it's a rook check. Now notice how the king just left the defense of the queen, and there it is. Now let's go back. We were talking about king g6. That's also a possible plan here. Then queen h7 check. King g5 is forced. Then you give the rook check. Notice the role of the pawn here. Doesn't allow the king to escape. So the rook blocks or the queen blocks. But why will he block with the queen? And now Queen h4 is checkmate. I'm proud of Saurish. That is just a brilliant. Jay should learn something. Jay, you're quick to type the score. But look at this variation given by Saurish. Hats off to you, Saurish. And Hitesh, good try, but the continuation was important. So the queen again comes back to this h4. Abir, I'm sure you enjoyed that. Type your score, guys. Abir, you must have enjoyed the variation. The computer made it very simple for us. After this check, computer just blocked it with the queen. Then you give the check with the rook. The king takes the rook. Gone is the defender of the queen, and we get the queen. All right, people. So Reyansh Inamdar is also one. Reyansh, where were you? Did not get a comment from you. Abir did enjoy that. Yes, Abir, thank you. Yes, Sagar and company. Let's continue. Yes, Saurish. Proud of you, I'm saying. Perfect. What a line you gave. The entire line is what you gave everybody. So let's start with this then. Exposed king. I want you to notice the power of this pawn on e6. Granth Uttekar, make sure you type the coordinates correctly. Okay. Okay, Reyansh is saying I was there from the start. No problem, Reyansh. I was just asking because I don't think I got a chat line from you, the answer from you. That's why I was wondering if you missed the first position. But anyway, good to know that you are there right from the start. So now notice the role of the pawn, guys, on e6. What do you want to do here? Do you want to push the pawn? Do you want to play the queen check? Do you want to bring the rook in for the doubling of the rook? That is a queen and the rook battery. What is it? Do you want to go ahead and exchange? Do you want to do that? You can also tell me which arrow is the worst, by the way. You can definitely tell me that. Hitesh has some idea. Says queen d8 check, bishop e8, and queen takes e8, king h7, and rook h3 checkmate. Oh, detailed thought. Sagar completely agrees with that. Saurish agrees with that. Kavish agrees with that. Kavish, that is right. And Jay is also correct. Jay says the chrome key, that is the chrome arrow, is the worst because then we will be back rank checkmated. Okay, Abir, you are also right. Queen d8 check, and yes, the chrome color arrow is the worst, and we have a chat line by Reyansh now this time. So the blue arrow is perfect, I think. Yes, the bishop will take, and now notice how a rook can come and deliver the checkmate. But let's go back. Guys, if you exchange the rook, I told you, right, this one was the chrome color, okay? This is the worst because the moment you take this, black queen will take and, hey, I mean, we have some back rank issues. Now, the moves we have are queen blocking the check, of no use. Then the rook blocking the check, of no use. So, instead of we winning from that given position, we will lose from the given position. That's why, yes, the Chrome was the worst. Okay, there's no doubt about that. But in my school, well, in school, my house is yellow house. Okay, fine, no problem. I'm just saying that this word Chrome was taught to us by our dear Avdut Patel, a monitor of our class. Is it not? Anyway, Grunt says there are some network issues from his side. No problem. It's raining heavily outside, so that can happen. This next one is black to play. Jai can go about typing the score. Everybody, let me know the score. We are at 2 out of 2. Mind you, our target is 30, but we are not going to rush to 30. I want to make sure that I give complete explanation on every position. Good to know. 2 out of 2. Saurish at 2. Kavish at 2. Rayanshi Inamdar at 2. Scores coming fast. Good. So Itesh is also at 2 out of 2. Guys, black to play here. Exposed king. Exposed king, huh? How can we benefit from this exposed king idea? Let me give you some options here. Do you want to go for the queen check here? Do you want to go for the knight e3 attacking the queen? Do you want to go for a simple looking bishop e7? Or do you want to go ahead and play knight to c6? Now there are options. Even Radesh is at 2 out of 2. Good, Radesh. Good work. But participate in typing the answer as well. Abir likes the red arrow. Says that it will be a 4. Will attack the queen and the bishop. But then don't you think that our opponent will save the queen? Itesh also likes the red arrow. Knight e3 seems the only best. Guys, aren't you a little... okay, fine. He's saying that that seems to be the best. Is there? Well, by the way, I'm making it very clear, guys. None of these is an option. None of these is an option. So, you remember that I could be playing a trick. Everybody likes knight to e3. Saurish has something to say. If the queen is saved, then what? If the queen is saved, then what? He wants to say something. Say it. Blue is the worst one, says Abir. Let's get back to the position. The arrows are now gone because I came to a different scene. Now, the blue is the worst one, okay? Queen, I said queen h4 check. This was the blue one that I had indicated. So. Itesh is saying I'll go with none of the colors or red. Okay. Saurish, you were about to say something. I think Saurish was saying something. Saurish just typed, if the queen is saved, then. Well, let's see. If we indeed go ahead and, oops, not there. If we indeed go ahead and play the knight there, what are the squares for the queen? Can't go here, can't go here. If he goes here and gives a check, there's this bishop. Okay. Yes, so there are the following squares. The queen can go to e2 as well. But if the queen goes to e2, I think we have a fork. Is that what Saurish was trying to say? Now, Rayansh, your confusion would be little clear, is it not? Now he's saying them partially tensed. I think now you will be relieved a little bit. Yes, Kavish also has the same idea. Look at the line by Kavish. Fantastic. Kavish, brilliant. Knight e3. The threat is also c7 check. The threat is knight c7 check. What do you do to that, guys? Look at the red arrow. Knight c7 check. Very, very important. Even if there is queen a4 check, this bishop d7. Jai, you should be participating more. You are not just a scorekeeper. I would give you more weightage than that. Agreed that you are the moderator, but hey, where are your answers, Jai? You got to participate a little more wholeheartedly to take the game to the next level, in which, I mean, you are capable of that. So. Jai, participate in the answering process a little more. Guys, I hope that it's clear that knight c2 check is an important threat. There you have it. So knight to c2 check, and we'll win the rook. Fantastic. I think 3 out of 3 is where we are. Now Rayansh is saying, sure, I got that answer here. So Kavish is saying 3 out of 3, Sagar 3 out of 3. Jay has tied the score, but Jay, please acknowledge the fact that you need to participate more. Did you get my message, Jay? Did you hear that? You need to participate more. Now again, exposed king. I love such positions because, oh, Jay is quick with this one. Says rook d1 check, king h2, queen g1 mate. Guys, look at Jay's awesome plan. Says check, and then the king comes to h2, and then he says queen g1 checkmate. How many people like that idea? Jay says, okay, sir, I'll participate. Kavish likes that idea. Or even Abir likes that idea. Abir, R capital, please. The R in the rook should be capital. So rook d1 check, king h2 and king g1 will be checkmate. Of course, if there is bishop f1, then the same idea. Rook takes f1 check, then maybe king g2 or king h2, doesn't matter where, queen g1 is still checkmate. Okay. Yes, Grant, we have acknowledged the fact that you are having some network issues. So it's perfectly okay, as and when possible, participate. But it's important to attend the complete lecture, okay? Yes, no problem, Abir. Don't be sorry. It's okay, happens. But just remember that for the piece, it should be capital. Yeah, so we are going to do that. Jay really is correct. Oh, he did put the bishop there. So bishop will be taken. And it doesn't matter had the king, had the king gone to h2 or g2, it doesn't really matter because now queen to g1 is just checkmate. But don't you love this checkmate? This is just brilliant. Next position, Jay, congratulations. You were so quick with this answer. Scores coming in. Hitesh says 4 out of 4. Sagar says his personal score is 4 out of 4. I'm happy. We are at 4 out of 4, no doubt. Kavish is at 4 out of 4. I like that. Guys, now this is end game, okay? And please remember where the pawns are headed. Saurish is at 4 out of 4. Okay, so where is this pawn going? I think this is crowning glory for the pawn. But it's white to play. What's going to happen now? This is interesting. This is damn interesting. What happens now? Guys, I suppose we give the pawn check, then king takes, then king here, makes the queen and checkmate that follows. White is so clearly winning. h8 equal to Radesh. You cannot type like Abir. h8 equal to something, right? Saurish, you also did that. What do you mean by h8? Oh no, guys. What do you mean by h8? Jay, can you show them what to do? Kavish knows what to do. But where is your plus sign? Where is your plus sign, Kavish? h8 equal to queen will be a check. So you should put the plus sign there. Hitesh has done that, but unfortunately he has written H capital. Hitesh, why is the H capital? Nobody tried it correctly. Then king f7. Then the pawn will promote for black. But then we will have g7 check, g8 equal to queen check, and queen g6 checkmate. Guys, type the full line. I think Jai can do that. Let me show you the full line with the red. So first is the queen check, h8 equal to queen check, king takes queen, that is king takes h8. Then there is king f7, our opponent will promote. Then there is g7 check. Then there is g8 equal to queen check. And there is queen g6 checkmate. Wow, everything is happening. Everything is happening on that G file there. I think Jay has a complete answer here. Are we right? Saurish has given the complete answer. Hello, Ankit Banerjee. Jay, I think, gave the full answer there. Yes, absolutely. Equal to queen, right? h8 equal to queen. Even Rayansh has the answer now. Yeah. So guys, enjoy this position. What a lovely position. So don't worry even if our opponent has this queening opportunity. So we're going to queen and give a check. Now king f7. Let our opponent get a queen. Now look how useless that queen will be. Very soon that queen will, I mean, the queen will be redundant. Guys, do you understand this word redundant? Rayansh, do you know the word redundant, of no use? Now again, g8 equal to queen check. Guys, we made two queens. Whoa. And now the simple queen g6 checkmate. That was some position. Abir, let me know if you enjoyed that. This was a lovely position. What are the scores? Oh, Jess, Rayansh is saying that redundant is a new word. So if Itesh or maybe Ankit or maybe Jai can type the spelling of redundant, that would be great. Redundant, of no use. Redundant, valueless. 5 out of 5 for Kavish. No, Itesh, I think. Rayansh is also 5 out of 5. Itesh is saying it's a new word for him as well. So who will? Oh, Rayansh is saying new word to my list. Redundant. Jai is right. Look at that. Redundant. You can Google the meaning here. No, Itesh, good try with the spelling, but that's not the answer. Saurish is right. Redundant. No longer needed or useful. Did you Google that? Redundant. Yes. That's the meaning, guys. That's the meaning. So if, by the way, the next position is black to play, but for those who thought this word was new, our viewers have done some good work there. Redundant, not or no longer needed or useful. It becomes redundant. So our opponent promoted to queen, right? But then the queen was what? Was redundant. The queen was redundant, of no value, because we had checkmate. Checkmate is more powerful, right? All right, then let's get back to this, and we are at 5 out of 5. I'm so happy. Target is 30, but we are not going to rush towards it. Okay, it's black to play. Here the pawn is almost there, ready to, be crowned. But what are we going to do? Do you want to start with a check? What do you want to do? Do you want to use the help of the king? Let me use different colors here. Guys, what do you want to do here? Or do you want to take the pawn? That's a possibility. Yes, Jay has attempted a humor. Black says, hey, I got a queen. White says, hey, I got a checkmate. That was cool, Jay. That was nice creativity by Jay. Guys, if you would appreciate that, look at what Jay has said. Jay says, Black says, hey, I got a queen. This is for the last position that we did, okay? Black says, hey, I got a queen. And White is saying, hey, I got a checkmate. Sure, sure, sure. LOL, Jay. LOL. Good creativity there. Kavish in this case likes the blue arrow. And, well, okay. Not the check. Sagar with a full line says, let's go for King G3, King G3 check. How will King G3 be check? Oh, King G3 will not be a check. Guys, King G3 is not a check, guys. Ankit likes that. Ankit says, very good work, Jai. Sure. Itesh says, King G3, Rook F8, because, and whatever white does, there's no check. And Rook B8 is a checkmate threat. So then it will be checkmate after Rook blocks it. I think that is the correct idea. Kavish, I think now he agrees with Itesh's idea. So blue arrow it is. Even Abir says blue arrow. Ankit, I'm sure you agree with the blue arrow. Because let's take a look at this. If you play the blue arrow, the threat is Rook B8 or B1 rather. Checkmate. Let's type the coordinates correctly. Yeah? So it is the king moving to G3. Now the rook has come to F8. The rook B1 check. Rook blocks it, but it's checkmate. Oh, that is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Score time. Score time. Yes, Ankit says G3 square in front of the pawn is so important. 6 out of 6 for Ritesh. 6 out of 6 for Kavish. Rayansh is also not stuck on some 0.5. Saurish is at 6 out of 6. The next one is white to play, by the way. It's already there on the board. Radhesh is also with a full score. Ayush, who has joined us late, our very own Ant-Man, is at 1 out of 1. By the way, why are you so late? I don't know the reason for that. Ayush, don't miss out on such timings. I mean, you stand to lose some part of the lecture each time. Guys, I've already told you that Namish will join us probably half an hour late. He had messaged me. Okay. Rook f8 check, says Hitesh. And then rook takes f7 is checkmate. Knight takes d7. Abir likes that move. So, okay, guys, here the options are either you give the rook check or then you take the rook and give the check. You play the green arrow, give the check. People are of the opinion that the red arrow is right. Even Ant-Man supports that. But at the end, he has not put that checkmate sign. That's it. Saurish likes that idea. Sagar agrees with Hitesh. Saurish is now saying the apple color. Saurish says the cherry color. But Abir is saying no, the blue color. Abir, if you take the rook and give the check, my dear, the king goes to f7. Okay, so let's start with the rook check. That's the best move. Now we'll give the rook check. Okay, hold on. Why should we just take the rook and give the knight away? Not so rook check. And I believe now that now, by the way, don't take this rook with the knight, okay? Otherwise, our opponent will take our rook. Please remember. So take the rook. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute here. If we take this with the rook, then he will take, and he will take. We'll just be with an extra pawn. The knight is pinned, yeah, that's also correct. The knight is pinned, yeah. But I was thinking, guys, rook takes rook. Then there is rook takes knight sacrifice, and then king takes rook back again. So we are just one pawn up. Yeah, Hitesh is right. Just one pawn up. Ooh. Guys, let's watch this. Oh, crazy stuff, right? Yeah, but this pawn should be winning because these pawns are equal in number, so they'll take care of each other. But there will be no stalemate possibility because we have the opposition. We are going to give the check now. So that is enough to win. We will promote and we will win. Scores, please. Time for the score, guys. Next one is black to play. Scores have started coming in. Hitesh is at 7 out of 7. Next position is black to play, guys. Sagar says my personal score is 7 out of 7. We are at 7 out of 7. Saurish is at 7 out of 7. Kavish is at 7 out of 7. Ayush, because he joined late, 2 out of 2. And Rayansh Inamdar also 7 out of 7. Alright then. Abir is saying C3 looks like the best move to him. So he is saying C3 is good because, I don't know why. I think the pawn is going that direction. So it's C2, I believe. Not even C3, right? It should be C2, right? Jay has some lines. Jay says C2. Then there is, well, why won't he play rook C8? Okay, rook C7, black. Yeah, okay. To stop the promotion, Jay is saying. And then rook takes pawn. And then the rook takes rook. And then the pawn gets promoted to glory. Oh, all right. Jay, some pawn promotion ideas. What lovely ideas. Yeah, let's do that. So pawn pushed. Now let's take this pawn. The rook took the rook, and now the pawn can be promoted to queen. Fantastic idea. What distraction that was. We sacrificed our rook, but then the pawn got promoted, guys. The pawn got promoted. Ankit, you're right. Ayush, you're right. 8 out of 8 for Hitesh. Next one is also black to play, guys. Next one is also black to play. So deflection idea used. 8 out of 8 for most people, for all except for Ant-Man. Radesh, what's your score? You didn't type the score. Okay, so now here, is it the queen check? Are we interested in this queen check here? Or are we interested in the rook sacrifice? Are we, what are we going to do here? Are we interested in this queen attacking the rook move? Radesh is at 8 out of 8. Okay. Jay says, Ant-Man is saying rook takes h6. Now what's that? Type the coordinates properly, please. Okay, Jay says rook takes h4 check, g takes h4, rook takes h4 check, queen takes h4 and queen takes h4 check. We will win the rook also with the 4. Okay. Now Ant-Man has corrected himself. Rook takes h4, sorry, he says. I think Jay has the answer, right? Rook takes h4 check, g takes h4, rook takes h4. And by the way, even if the queen blocks it, well, it doesn't really matter. It will be queen h2 block maybe. And then, well, even Shreyan agrees that it's rook takes h4. But keep the R capital, please. Good bole. Rook takes h4, yeah. So let's do that. Rook takes pawn check. Rook takes pawn takes rook. Again, rook takes pawn check. There is nowhere for the king to go. Give the check and we'll win the rook. Let's get back to understand why this was so good. The rook and the queen. There is nowhere for the poor king to go. And I was making my point that even if the queen does not take the rook, even if the queen, let's say, blocks it this way, well, it's not going to change anything at all. Why do I say that? It's because rook takes queen, beg your pardon. King takes, and again the check will be same for. Again, it doesn't matter whether the rook blocks it or what. It really wouldn't matter. And this is not checkmate. We just have the squares ready. Okay. Brilliant, guys. Absolutely brilliant. 9 out of 9 for most people. Is it? Most people. Most. Sure. Most people have got it. They also guessed it correctly. 9 out of 9 for most. Yeah. Next position. White to play. So do you want to start with this check or this check or this check? What do you want to do, guys? Or do you want to play the, or not the same color again, please? You want to play this. So what is the move here? Jay says let's start with queen h8 check, but then if you start with that move, then Jay, try to give the full line. If you give the queen h8 check, then king f7 is forced. Then what happens? Rook h7 check, then Jay. Try to type the complete line, guys. Jay agrees with the blue line. Says queen h7 check. Ayush has some idea. Says queen h8 check, king f7. Then rook h7 check, queen takes h7 and queen takes h7. So we will win the queen. Jay also thinks that we will do that with a checkmate. Is that a checkmate? Is that a checkmate or are we just winning the queen here? Radesh also thinks it's checkmate. Sagar says no, will be a queen up. All right, but what everybody seems to be agreeing with is this move. And yes, this is rook check. And then the queen takes. And it is indeed checkmate. So those who said queen up, bad. Jai, congratulations. It is checkmate. Jai calculated it right. It's not just queen up. It's checkmate. I mean, queen up is okay. But the enjoyment of being, the victorious player. Next one is white to play. Score time. It says 10 out of 10. I believe everybody is at 100% score as of now. I mean. So Saurish is a 10 out of 10. Rehan Chinamdar is a 10 out of 10. I think Kavish is a 10 out of 10. Ooh, Ant-Man has given himself 5.7 out of 6. How do you calculate that? 5.7 out of 6. That's a big mystery. How do you calculate that score? 5.7 out of 6. How do you do that? White to play. Okay, guys, checkmate, right? It's checkmate in 1, 2, 3 moves, right? Checkmate in 3 moves. Is it not checkmate in 3 moves here? This time Abir has typed correctly. Rook capital R. But I think he's got the coordinates wrong, right? Yeah. I think it's H8, right? It is H8. It is H8. Yeah. Rook H8 check. Bishop blocks it. Queen blocks it. Checkmate. Exposed king. That is the theme. And see how perfect this is. Black to play next one. I think it's 11 out of 11. For Hitesh, yes. For Rayansh, yes. For Sagar, yes. For Radhesh also, yes. That is brilliant. 11 out of 11. Man, that's some score. Saurish is at 11 out of 11. And Abir is at 11 out of 11. Brilliant. By the way, our Ant-Man is at 6.7 out of 7. I don't know how he got a zero point 0.7 score. Guys, black to play and we are actually down on material here. So let's start with this check. Then what happens? Let's continue the discussion here. What happened? The green arrow check. Now what are you going to do? Please don't say Tuesday, I have nothing to do. Monday, I have nothing to do. I'm sure you've heard of that song. All right. So what are we going to do? Don't say we're going to make TikTok. Okay, Queen F3 check. Itesh likes that. The Queen F3 check. And what? King H2, Queen H3 check. Why is he saying D3? Is it not F3? Why D3? F3 check, right? That's much better. Queen F3 check. That way we stop King G4 also. Knight F3 will be checkmate later. Guys, watch this, okay? Watch the checkmate move. Oh, watch the checkmate move. King G1, guys. H3 is not checkmate. Hitesh has found out a brilliant answer. Yes, Ankit is right. If Queen F3 check, then King H4, Queen H3 mate. But if King H2, then Queen H3 check, King G1, and then Knight F3 is checkmate. Hitesh, that was just brilliant. What a mate and what a composition this is. Jai should participate more. The answer did not come from you. Okay, so check. The king goes back and then this is checkmate. Look at this checkmating pattern. Abir, I'm sure you love that. Just brilliant. Super effort that. Score time. It's white to play for the next one. 12 out of 12 for most. Most of them. Yes, I really did love that last position. What a mate that was. Now, I think this one, something pretty special. Because the rook is just shadowing this bishop. It's looking at this h8 square. So, is there some tactic based on that? Remember, we are studying the exposed king tactic, okay? What's the best move, guys? What's the best move here? Which one do you prefer? The chrome arrow? Or rook h6 checkmate? Well, Ant-Man, something is clearly wrong in the system. That's not checkmate. King can come again back to where the king is right now. Ayush, I repeat, the king can again come back to the same position where the king is right now. Please be careful. That's not fair. Guys, that's why the target is 30. But, well, we've done 12 positions for now. I'm not going to rush through the positions. Rook h8 is not checkmate. What's up with you guys? Itesh says rook g6 check, king f7, rook g7 check, king f8, rook h8 checkmate. Whoa! Jai, again I'm saying that your answers have to be faster than what the others are doing. No doubt about it. Your answers should definitely be faster without a doubt. Without the slightest doubt. So, okay, watch this, guys. It's this rook check. And now again, this rook check with the help of the bishop. Sure. And now, mind you, Itesh thought that this was checkmate. And is absolutely right. Because I told you the bishop was x-raying these squares. It's just brilliant. Rayan Chinamda totally enjoyed this position. That is nice. 13 out of 13 is not bad at all. Hey, Jayesh Gazre, brilliant. But not rook g7 checkmate. Jayesh, I hope you watched the solution. Saurish enjoyed this position. That's nice. 13 out of 13 for Kavish as well. Oh, that's cool. Radesh is also at 13 out of 13. Abir is at 15 out of 15. How come you are at 15 out of 15 when we have only done 13 positions, Abir? Hey, Namish is with us. Namish had SMS'd me, or rather, what? A telegram, I think. Yeah, he had telegrammed. And then he said he'll be busy with a tournament. So, Namish, how did that go? I hope you played well. You gave your best, Namish. Welcome. You did mention, and I told everybody that you'll be here after your tournament. Saurish says 13 out of 13. White to play for this one, guys. White to play for this one. Is it rook check here? And then the other rook also will join the action. And the king goes to h6. Then there is rook h8 checkmate. Jay has said congratulations to Namish because Namish won the third place. Congratulations, Namish. That is absolutely amazing, and that is why this one is for you. By the way, you could tell us more about what tournament it was. What was that tournament about? Everybody's congratulating. That is fantastic. Okay, let's come back to the point, guys. Let's come back to the point. Grant, I hope that you'll participate now. I think your net connection is little bit better. What about this one, guys? What about this one? Do you think it's rook f8 check? Do you think that? Rook f8 check. King g7. Look at, guys, you should appreciate Kavish is watching this on TV, but he is participating really well today. I must say, this is brilliant. So rook f8 check, king g7, rook f7 check, rook 1 f7 check. Look how clear that was. Abir, watch this. After this check, both the rooks can come on this f7 square. So it is this rook on 1, the rank 1. That's why it's rook 1 f7 checkmate. Rayan just typed it correctly. That is just brilliant. Kavish also did that. It's a check. And watch the own pawns, okay, that will hamper the king's escape route. Brilliant. What a checkmate this was. Yes, rook 1 f7 checkmate. Guys, what's your score now? I think we are done with 14 positions. So Hitesh is 14 out of 14. White to play the next position. I think we have done this, guys. So let's not count this position. Oh, this one was a little different. No, it's not different. Is it different? No, no. Guys, we have done this position. Yeah, this one, yeah, it's the same position. We've done that. Yeah, so we are not going to count this position, guys. We are going to deal with this position now. Position number 15. This is the one, guys. So now, what is the queen going to do here? Queen takes h8 check, king f7. What was that? So king takes queen takes h8 check. Say the answer then, Namish. All right, guys. I hope that you can now again listen to this properly. It was not the net issue, guys. It was a power fluctuation. The net connection is ultra solid and strong. It just was some net issue. Great, great. Now we have Jay who's saying, yes, we're back. That's nice. Okay. It's not about internet. There was a power fluctuation. So all my setting was lost. The screen just went blank and then it restarted, if you know what I mean. Abir says, yes, that happens sometimes. Okay. So there we go. I think we must not have lost the position. Yeah. There we are. And well, we are doing a great job with that. By the way, good work, Jay. He was the one to share the message to everybody. Saurish says, yes, I know that. The screen went blank, okay, and then it just popped up again. So restart. But then the thing is, you lose all your settings. So there was no internet issue. So therefore, it was not a lag. Mind you, there's a difference. So let's not blame it on internet every time. The net connection is ultra solid. It was the fault of the electricity board. The power fluctuated. That's why I lost everything on the screen. But thanks for bearing. And anyway, let's get started. This is white to play. Computer's thrown a new position. What can be done here? And the knight will move, right? Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Will the knight move and we'll have a discovered? No, no, no. But then it's not going to check. The knight can move, but there won't be any check. That's the point. If you move the knight, but I mean, you don't give a check. So white to play. Do you want to start with this bishop check? Guys, does that look good? This bishop check. And then when the king moves and you have this knight check, if the king goes to h8, let's say. I don't know. But then there are other options, right? King f8, what happens? So bishop c4 check, king h8, knight f7 check, king g8, knight takes d8 check, king h7, knight f7 check. Okay. So I think I like that idea. Bishop c4 check, king h8, knight f7 check, king g8. But then what happens if king f8 right from the start? We're going to start with that. The king moved there. Oh, now we are at least winning the exchange here. How many people agree with that? Nobody had thought king g7. Now talk about that. Saurish, you did mention king h8, but the computer has played king g7. So now we are going to play knight e6 check. Knight e6 check, winning the exchange at least. Do you like that idea? Let me know. I think so. We're winning at least the exchange, is it not? Knight e6. Hitesh likes that idea. Like knight e6 check for. Yeah, so we will win the rook. Knight e6 check is a fork. Yeah. Not queen up. I think the rook will take. We will win the rook. Abir, we won't be a queen up. The rook will take. and we will win the rook. So that's an exchange. That's an exchange up, guys. I think Abir has learned an important lesson here. Next two. Next two. It's white to play. Okay. Guys, our counting is precisely going well. We, thanks to that power fluctuation, we've not lost our positions at least. So it's 15 out of 15. For Kavish also 15 out of 15. For Hitesh as well, Saurish as well, Radhesh as well. Wow, that's fantastic. Jay says we are at 15 out of 15. Ayushman, get your scoring right. Either it is 0.5, I can understand 0.5, but your metric system is giving me huge troubles. Like, what the hell is 12.1 out of 13? You can't calculate like that. So, either make it 12 out of 13 or make it 12.5 out of 13. And Mohit, who has just joined us, says 1 out of 1, sir. Mohit, welcome. Nonetheless, Mohit, now it is your duty to finish this position. Guys, let us wait for Mohit, okay? I'm not going to highlight any other chat. Mohit, participate here. White to play. What's your answer for this? Guys, don't say anything, okay? Let Mohit type this. And Mohit has typed it. So he says queen to g5 check. The first move is king f7. And then he says rook d7 check. And then then what? Then continue, Mohit. Good job there. Good job. It is impossible. Jay has pointed out a fundamental error. Yes, Jay is right. Why did he retract that message? I don't know. Mohit, fundamental error, man. Fundamental error. The queen is pinned. Fundamental error. And now everybody is saying the queen is pinned, the queen is pinned. And now Mohit, LOL, realization. That's what happens when you join late. That is what happens. Yes, Saurish, the queen is pinned. My dear. So that cannot happen, right? OMG, right? So Mohit, now what? Pooja ma'am, welcome. But Pooja ma'am, the answer is not what he's saying. Okay, rook g5 check. Now what? So rook g5 check. Then I believe king h6 is forced. Then what do you do? Mohit, keep typing there. Rook g5 check, king h6. So learn your calculation ability. Then rook f5 check, and then it's a discovered check, and then queen to g5 is checkmate. That's what Hitesh thinks that we are going to win a lot on f8. But isn't that checkmate? Now seniors can type. Oh, Pooja ma'am is saying that she actually meant g5. Yeah, she did not mean what she typed earlier. She also wants the g5 square. Pooja ma'am, that is right. Pooja ma'am, that is correct. So rook g5 check. Guys, isn't it checkmate here? Jai, what say? Rook g5 check, king h6, rook f5 discovered check, a king g6, queen g5 is checkmate. The queen will be where the rook is after the green arrow, and that will be checkmate. Namish says we make the position equal. No, Namish. I believe that there is a checkmate here. Guys, let me show you. The rook to Hitesh, I think. Oh, even Shreyan agrees with g5. Okay. But it's not just g5, Shreyan. It's rook g5 check. Guys, the rook comes back to f5 and discovered check by the queen. And when the king also comes back to the square g6, then it is queen g5 checkmate. Because the rook will be on f5 and the queen will be on g5. Saurish is saying, agree with sir. Thank you, Saurish. And now Mohit is saying, got that. It's a discovered check. So it's Hitesh not about winning the material on f8. Yes, if we want, we can win that as well. But the checkmate comes first, man. So watch this checkmate. Abir, Mohit, you'd love this. So this idea in chess is called a discovered check, right? The rook moves out of the way. So it will be a discovered check. That's right, Shreyan. So now it's a discovered check. Oh, he put the pawn there. So nonetheless, this is checkmate. However, what we were thinking is if the king comes back, then queen g5 is also checkmate. And Hitesh was also right in a way because yes, if the king goes to g6, we can win a lot of material on f8. But of course, when we are getting the checkmate, then why bother that? 16 out of 16 for almost all the people. I like that. So Jay, can we keep the target as 20 out of 20 now? Because we have 5 minutes more to go. Can we do 4 more positions? Guys, let's stop at 20 out of 20. We initially targeted 30 out of 30, Jay. But I believe that the discussion, some positions were really nice. And we lost 3 minutes to that fluctuation. But guys, we were relatively quickly back on track. I mean, even after the power fluctuation, imagine the whole stream. Jai will appreciate that. Jai has a channel, he knows this. The entire stream got set up in like 3 minutes. That was something special. Okay, so what's up with this position now? Guys, in 5 minutes, let's do 4 more positions and reach 20 out of 20, okay? This is checkmate position. So let's start with the rook check then. Can we start with the rook check? Yeah, we can start with the rook check. I believe this is check. No, oh, what did I do? There was this fork. See, that's what happens. That's what happens. Jay, one wrong. That's what happens when you immediately get into the rush to reach 20 out of 20. See, exactly what happens. But anyway, you can count your score as 17 out of 17. I will count it as 16 out of 17 without one wrong. But again, shows what happens. What happens? OMGB, that's right, Mohit. Oh my Ganpati Bappa. Jay can take it as 17 out of 17. Jay is saying Shreyan because Shreyan already had reached 20 out of 20. I don't know how. Guys, this one seems simple, right? Please tell me this is simple. Like rook takes bishop, rook takes rook, and then rook takes rook. We are winning a piece here. Fair and square, right? Please tell me that's so simple. Check, right? And not just that, we're winning the bishop, right? Yep. 3 minutes to go. And Jay, what's the score now? 17 out of 18 for me, I believe. Yeah, for me it is 17 out of 18. 2 more positions and we have 3 more minutes. Yes, Jay, 17 out of 18, yeah. I think now we can go for this simple lawnmower mate or the ladder mate or something like that. Can we do that? But there's a pawn on h6. Be mindful of that. Mohit has made a right start, like rook f1 checkmate. Like, look at the arrows. The rooks are coordinating so well. Ant-Man is at 15.5 out of 16 because he joined in a little late. Mohit, what's your score? Rook f1 check. Rook g2 check. And this is checkmate. Oh, yes, that was sweet. Guys, that was awesome. Look at this checkmate pattern. The rooks just went on and then it is checkmate, okay? Rook f7, Hitesh. Rook f7 checkmate. Namish, who joined in late after the tournament, he was here, but 2 out of 2. 19 out of 19 for Hitesh. That's brilliant. Okay, let's do this as one last position for 20. We have 2 minutes more. Let's see who... yes, OP checkmate pattern. There's no doubt about that. No, Abir, don't type the same message again and again. Because remember, once you type it, we do see that. Don't worry. Don't type the same message again. Ayush, it's okay, man. He's a newcomer. He has to learn slowly. Oh, good to know that Radesh is also 19 out of 19. Guys, 1 minute to stop. Let's finish this. What's the move? What's the move here? Rook check. King g8. And then knight to f6 check. Guys, do you agree with this plan? Rook takes h6, king g8, knight f6 check fork. That's what is Ant-Man's suggestion. And Hitesh completely agrees with that. I think you all will agree. That's a fork, right? That's a lovely fork. What a setup that is. The king can't go to g7 because of king g7 is illegal, Namish. Namish is asking, what if king g7? Man, clearly there is knight. How can the king go to g7? Watch the board. After the fork? Well, it doesn't matter. We'll get the queen, right? And we have clear passers, right? Okay, guys, here we have a small change of plan. Look at the change of plan, guys. Look at the change of plan. Now, if we take this, our opponent will take our rook. That's why, with Namish asking that valid question after, not king g7 initially, that was not possible. So, rook h7 check will come first, I believe. Is it? But guys, then I have an issue with that. If we go rook h7 check first, then queen takes h7, knight takes h7, king takes h7, and our opponent has an extra rook. Our opponent will have an extra rook. Some comments about that. Guys, no, it's not that simple. It is not that simple. Shall we just take the queen here? Watch what I've done, guys. Watch the board. It is 7-1. We got to stop, but what do you think? If we play rook h7 check, then he will sacrifice the queen. We will lose our rook and the knight, and our opponent will still have the rook. Have you thought about that? And now Mohit Patel is saying, oh no, I did not realize that. So knight takes e4 does look like a safe bet. Because then, at least we will have the knight for the rook and a clear passer to deal with. That's right, guys. Very important to make such notes, okay? Fantastic. We'll stop for now. Type your tata bye-bye messages. Enjoyable lecture. Tomorrow, from tomorrow, we are going to have a new tactical setup. Tomorrow onwards, we are going to do the queen side attack. The queen side attack. I repeat, Jai can just type it, okay? Queen side attack, okay? And we are going to meet tomorrow. Do take care. Thank you for the score. Enjoyed bringing this session. Sagar is saying for the first time his score is 20 out of 20. Brilliant. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mohit. Queenside attack tomorrow. We will enjoy tomorrow as well. Bye.